You're watching College Football Now. Harrison Graham and James Yoder with you as the College Football Playoff Committee has revealed their Final Four rankings. Subscribe to the channel because college football coverage is heating up here on Chat Sports. Let's react to it, James. Here's the top four as the two matchups are set. The Alabama Crimson Tide jump to number 1 after their win over Georgia. Michigan stays at 2. The Bulldogs fall to 3. And then Cincinnati, the Bearcats, become the first Group of 5 program to make the college football playoff. Notre Dame, Ohio State on the outside looking in as the Final Four is set. James, your initial reactions are what?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we expected. So a little bit of a bummer that Alabama won this game because it took away from the drama. These shows are a little more fun when there's drama and people have the opportunity to argue. I do think, though, Michigan has a legitimate gripe for not being number 1, but it's clear that the College Football Playoff Committee wanted to avoid a rematch in the semifinal of a game we just saw. And so as such, it didn't really matter what happened in those games in a lot of ways. They were going to try and avoid a rematch, so Michigan could have won 75-0. They probably still would have been number 2 in these rankings to avoid a CFP semifinal matchup between Alabama and Georgia. Now, it does line up for potential all SEC national title game, but maybe not. The crazy things have happened. We've never gotten, Harrison, in the history of the college football playoff, we have never gotten 2 good games. One is always a blowout, and there's usually one good game, one blowout, but there's been quite a few years where they've been both blowouts. So maybe this is the year we get 2 good games. I'm not sure. Alabama-Cincinnati, that feels like a mismatch to me considering what we saw yesterday out of Alabama. But Cincinnati, they've got a good coach. They've got a good program. They're in the top 4 for a reason. They've been on a 5-year run that's wildly impressive for a Group of 5 team.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So who you got? Who's winning the national championship? The Final Four is set. This will be the pinned comment, by the way. If you think it's the Crimson Tide, type BAMA. If you think it's Georgia, type UGA. Maybe they get their rematch. If you think it's the Michigan Wolverines, type MICH. If you think it's the Cincinnati Bearcats, type CIN. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, scroll on down and either pick BAMA, Georgia, Michigan, or Cincinnati. So the stage is set here. Bama will face Cincinnati. Michigan will face Georgia. And we should mention, James, that the sites have been chosen as well. Alabama has chosen the Cotton Bowl. They will play at Jerry World in Arlington, Texas on New Year's Eve. The Michigan Wolverines will face Georgia in the Orange Bowl on New Year's Eve as well. Let's talk about the Cotton Bowl first. If I had to guess, as we're filming this, we don't quite know yet, that this will probably be the afternoon game because Georgia, Michigan, probably a bigger draw nationally. That'll probably be the prime time game. Bama, Cincinnati. Very interested to see, A, what the point spread is, and B, can Cincinnati represent the Group of 5 well? Because if Cincinnati gets blown out, as long as there's a 14 playoff system, you got to think it's going to be hard for a committee to give another Group of 5 team a chance if they get blown out, even though there have been blowouts every single year in the college football playoff.
It's kind of like the Big 12. When Oklahoma goes in the last few years, they get blown out. It does hurt the reputation of the conference. Sure. They don't get the benefit of the doubt. Happened with the Big 10, back-to-back years 15 and 16. The Big 10 got shutout 2 straight years. Michigan State to Alabama, and then Clemson shut out Ohio State in those years. And so the Big Ten had a reputation stain for a few years until Ohio State got back into it, and then, of course, beat Clemson last year. This seems like it to be, I would say, I guess it was a 14 to 17-point spread, honestly, Harrison. It's going to be probably a pretty big one. And I don't know where it's going to be a shootout. I think Cincinnati has been a defensive struggle team, but I don't think they've got enough defense to shut down Alabama in any way. So if they're going to win the game or have a chance, I think it's one of these ones where the winning team is going to have over 40 points either way. And so Cincinnati is going to have to muster some more offense. They're not just going to be able to shut down and hold Alabama.
Cincinnati's almost averaging 40 points a game. It's not like they can't score, but this will obviously be their stiffest competition yet. I mean, there's no doubt about that. One thing going against Alabama, John Mechie is expected to be out for the year. It sounds like he tore his ACL in that SEC championship game, so that's one less weapon the Bearcats would have to worry about. But look, it's going to be a tall order. I think out of the 3 other teams, this is probably the worst matchup for Cincinnati with how much speed Bama has on offense and with their quarterback, Bryce Young. So the Bearcats will face the Alabama Crimson Tide in the college football playoff semifinal matchup. And we are getting the point spreads in. We're going to get those updated for you guys just verbally real quickly. Bama, 14-point favorites. I thought it might be a little bit higher. We'll see how that line shifts over the next few weeks leading up to that game. So who you got in this one? Type A for Alabama, type C for Cincinnati. Look, I'm going to pick Alabama, but I hope Cincinnati at least puts up a competitive fight.
I'm calling my shot here. Cincinnati.
All right.
They're going to win.
All right.
Luke Fickell, that defensive prowess, he's been part of a team, was defensive coordinator of an Ohio State team that beat Alabama. And I'm going back in the day, Harrison, when you were just a young whippersnapper, Heisman Trophy winners always lost their bowl game. There was like a 15-year stretch in the 90s, early 2000s, something like that. Like 14 to 15 years, the Heisman Trophy winner lost the bowl game. And especially if a Heisman Trophy winner got in the national title game, the old BCS, et cetera, before the CFP got on, it was always a guarantee they were going to lose. I'm going back. What's old is new. Michigan's beating Ohio State, and I'm bringing this curse back too. Pulling it forward out of the 1990s into the 2020s, I guess it is.
I'd love to see Cincinnati win it. I'd also love if you guys subscribe to us here at Chat Sports, because our college football coverage, it ain't going anywhere because your guys are enjoying our videos, so we'll keep cranking them out for you guys. Hit that subscribe button. More college coaching hot boards. We'll have more specific previews of these matchups in the days to come as well, so stay tuned for that. Recruiting is heating up. College football is red hot right now, and you guys are enjoying it. So if you want more videos around college football, hit that subscribe button. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. Okay, let's talk about the other matchup, James. If you're watching live, we're still live on the Michigan Football Report as well. The Wolverines get the Georgia Bulldogs, which obviously, that's not what you were hoping for, because now, pretty good chance if you're Michigan, you'd have to go through both the SEC Blue Bloods in Georgia and in Alabama.
Look, I think Michigan can win this game, Harrison. I think they match up well against Georgia. I'm glad they're playing Georgia in the semifinal versus Alabama because, look, Alabama has a higher potent offense. I think when game planned right, a higher potent offense potentially was what's going to beat Michigan. But also Nick Saban, when he has time to prepare for a game, he's just unbelievable when he does that. When he has time to prepare for almost any game, opening season games, college world playoff semifinals. So we'll see if Michigan can overcome Georgia. They are not an offense that I'm scared of. They've got a running game that can make an impact, but it's not a running game that Michigan hasn't seen. Clearly, Michigan State had a hell of a game running the game against Michigan, but they have really cleaned up all of their deficiencies when it comes to giving up yards on the ground. Now, a running quarterback can still hurt them, but that's not what Georgia has. And so Alabama not being Michigan's opponent, I think, really helps them. I think that 7.5 points spread is unfair to Michigan fans. I think it should be more like a 3 or 4 one.
Yeah, 7.5 point favorites for Georgia. That's pretty interesting as the early line there. I thought it'd be like 4 or 5 maybe. I think that's disrespectful to how consistent Michigan has been all year. And I watched Georgia get bulldozed yesterday. There's no reason why Michigan doesn't at least have a good chance in that game. Now, should Georgia probably be a slight favorite? Yeah, I'd say so. But I don't think it should be an overwhelming favorite in the slightest. So that will be the Orange Bowl in that college football playoff semifinal game down in Miami Gardens.
7.5 point is what the early spread is. Georgia favorite over Michigan. Over under, it's an NFL, bad NFL team over under 43.5 points. Which is funny enough, that's right around the same that the Big Ten Championship game was yesterday. They slightly went over. I think they beat it by 1.5 points, 45 total points, 43.5 points was the over-under. So let me know who you got watching on Chat Sports or watching on the Michigan Football Report. Type M for Michigan, type G for Georgia. Harrison, put everything's on the table here. Whatever you say here, you're going to get ridiculed if you're right and championed, or ridiculed if you're wrong, championed if you're right, mostly by me. So let me know.
I kind of think Michigan has a good chance in this game. I think these teams are built similarly. Stetson Bennett is awful against pressure, and Michigan has the best two-man pass rush in the country with Hutchinson and Ajabo. If they get consistent pressure, I think Michigan wins this game. I think this game, James, will be won in the trenches. Whichever offensive and defensive line performs better in this game will win this game. That was true in the SEC title game. Alabama held up. Georgia did not. So I might pick Michigan here, man. I'm going to have to think about this more, but my early prediction is Michigan grinds one out over Georgia, something like 20-17, 23-20. I think it'll be one of those type of games. I think the 43.5 feels right for the over-under, but we'll see how it plays out. Early prediction, or are you saving that?
I'll keep an early prediction right now. I'll go Michigan 35-21, Georgia. Early word, this isn't official yet, so if this changes when you watch this later, we're reporting this live, is that Michigan will indeed, Michigan-Georgia, be the primetime game. I just saw that Michigan's being told they'll be the primetime game.
So we'll see what happens. If you want to go bet on these matchups, you can do it with BetUS. I'm sure these games are already up on BetUS, so go to chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code CHAT125. You put down $100, you get $125 for free. Betting on bowl games is fun. It makes some of the smaller bowls more interesting as well. Once those bowls are announced, those will be available to bet on as well. Chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code CHAT125. Go make some money throughout bowl season. So to circle back, to the Final Four, it's set. Alabama 1, Michigan 2, Georgia 3, Cincinnati 4 in the college football playoff.